Welcome everyone. This is the Midday Blissful Warrior Yoga and Mindfulness Meditation practice, and I'm Rhonda Uretsky, the owner of River Flow Yoga. We have been bringing this practice to you daily since March, when this pandemic began. We recently moved it to our private page called Blissful Warrior Coaching, and I did promise that at least once a week, as we lead up to this very stressful holiday season, that I would come back here and offer this live, free, right here on our River Flow Yoga page. So welcome to this week's session. We are going to take this moment to pause. This is the best time to do that, right here in the middle of the day. Depends on where you're joining me. You know, this is live right here. It's about 12:45 here in New Jersey, but I know that some people might be coming back to this page later, and I do recommend it. You know, if you can't get to sleep at night or you're just feeling kind of agitated, this is a wonderful practice to calm you. But if you can make a habit of coming to this practice every day in the middle of the day to regain your balance. You know, the morning might have thrown you off balance. The thoughts about what you have to do in the afternoon might bring you some sense of instability. But here in the middle of the day, you have a chance to not only catch your breath, but to rebuild your stability. And I'm hopefully going to show you how simple it is. So many of the practices that we think we have to do, everything from diets, you know, eating better and exercising more, so many of these things feel like hardship. They feel like effort. And sometimes they even feel like deprivation. But I have to tell you that in my 50 years of practicing and teaching various yoga and mindfulness techniques, I have discovered that deprivation is not the answer to anything good. Think about why it is that most of these practices that you engage in work for a little while, whether they're diets or exercise regimes. Good name for it, regime. It even sounds like an effort. But after a while, you just go back. And it's not a failing on your part. And yet, we are encouraged to see it that way, as something that we fail at, and then we continually have to get back on the bandwagon. It's simply because depriving yourself of anything wanted, anything that feels like soothing to you, is not something that your cells, that your mind, that the whole being of you resonates with. It is the practices of soothing and calming and caring for yourself that are not chores, are not things that you have to browbeat yourself into, that actually begin to be things that you look forward to. So here, every day in the middle of the day, after 50 years of practicing, I still look forward to this. And I did have a busy morning, and I do have things that I have scheduled to want to take care of in the afternoon. But I do always look forward to this moment of pause. And it's not to take a respite from my busy, overwhelmed life, although some of you might be experiencing extreme overwhelm right now, and a respite feels good. It's actually to incorporate the balance of the pause into the life that I'm living, and hopefully the life that you are living. So, grab some water. We're going to be drinking water. If you've not done this practice with me before, I can promise you one thing. The practice itself, the things that I'm going to guide you through, are going to feel enjoyable to you. If they don't, I encourage you to stop, and I'll give you alternate things to do that will feel enjoyable. And many of the things that we'll practice here are things that you're doing all the time anyway, like breathing and drinking fluids, right? Maybe you're not doing it deliberately, and that's what this practice will help you to really gain the benefit of. Stopping to do these things deliberately, not so that you can get better at them. You're great at breathing. You've been doing it for as many years as you've been alive. But so that you can really bask in them, relish them, enjoy them, kind of squeeze every little last ounce of satisfaction that you can from these things that you're doing every day anyway. You might have thought that you needed to go on vacation in order to enjoy yourself. But if I tell you that you can breathe and enjoy yourself, wouldn't that be a nice thing to believe? That this thing that you're doing every day, many, multiple times a day, can be your vacation if you will simply stop to recognize it that way. So let's come with that intention, that everything we're going to do here in this Blissful Warrior practice is with the intent to feel blissful. Now, if you're coming here in a place of despair or overwhelm, you might not reach blissfulness. That's okay. You don't need to. A slight feeling better place from where you begin means everything to your health and to your well-being, and eventually to your entire life. So, let's arrive here. Find a comforting position for your body. I'm sitting here on the floor. Maybe you'd like to try that. Grab a cushion, place it underneath you, slide to the far front edge of that cushion, and if you feel your hips and your knees begin to tilt down a little bit, you're going to feel a sense of letting go in those areas. It's just a really nice, soothing thing to feel. If you're sitting in a chair and that's the way you prefer it, then go ahead. Maybe lean back against the chair. Notice how much of the time we're leaning forward. I've even been doing it right here and now. If you just stop to lean back a little bit, all this pushing forward with the chin and the chest, we kind of thrust ourselves into our lives. But maybe we can ease ourselves in and actually be more productive. Maybe it isn't the hard work and the struggle that makes us more productive and more valuable. Maybe it's the ease and the flow, just like the ocean tides, going with the ebb and the flow naturally. Okay, so go ahead, sit in a comfortable chair. Place both feet on the ground if you're sitting in a chair, and you get to calm your nervous system. This is a physiological phenomenon that if the soles of your feet are against the ground, your nervous system tends to settle. Just like a shaken up snow globe, your nervous system will tend to go awry if you're agitated. But again, like that snow globe, if you settle it down on a surface without actually doing anything more than settling it down, then it will settle itself. So placing both feet on the ground gives you that settling opportunity. If you're sitting in a chair in front of your computer a good portion of the day, even if you're attending meetings, conferences, you can always be soothing your nervous system with both feet on the ground. If you have an opportunity to do this practice lying down, go ahead now and lie on your back. Let your legs come out in front of you. Let your arms come out to the sides. Keep your arms kind of far from your body, and you'll begin to feel a sense of lightness in your arms. This is a great soothing feeling of your nervous system. Your palms face up, your hands and fingers sort of naturally curling, heels lightly touching and toes flopped apart. Kind of nestle your shoulder blades into the mat, into the ground. And whatever position you have chosen as your arrival, just settle into it. There is no better or worse way to arrive. There is just the showing up. So, hopefully you have some water beside you. Sorry for those folks who are lying down. I got you all nice and comfy, and now I'm going to have you sit up a little bit and take a sip of water. So, sipping water is something that you can do throughout your day. And when you're first becoming accustomed to the habit of drinking more water, I recommend that an easy way to do this is to just set a little alarm on your phone. Maybe once every hour, the little alarm goes off. Make it a soothing alarm, not something jarring, and let it remind you that it's time to sip some water. By the end of the day, you'll have had a lot of water flowing through this ocean inside of you, and you will begin to feel differently. I won't even tell you how much better you'll feel. You'll experience that for yourself. So for right now, let's grab some water, have a few sips. Okay. Now remember, I'm not telling you how much water to have, so don't try to have as much water as I drink, or more or less, or just have the sips of water that feel soothing to you in this moment. This is a practice of exploring your blissful warrior. You're going to be a warrior, all right, in the fact that you're going to show up, but your warrior attitude is about self-soothing. It may seem like a bit of a paradox to be a warrior about soothing yourself, but sometimes in developing a new habit, the consistency of it, the practicing of it day after day is what makes you the warrior. And you're going to be a warrior about feeling the blissful being that really is here inside of you, maybe just overwhelmed by some conditions outside of you. All right, So find a comfortable place to rest your hands. If you're sitting on the ground or on a chair, maybe it's palms on your knees or backs of your hands on your knees or even palms in your lap. If you're lying down again, your arms are far from your body, your palms are facing up. Just let everything feel very relaxed. Lean back a little bit if you're in a chair or even if you're on the ground, leaning back into your heels, and drop your chin a little. Focus your eyes on something in front of you. Doesn't matter what it is. It's nice if it can be something that is soothing to look at. And look at that object out of the tops of your eyes more so than the centers to avoid the chin thrust. Right? That slight little turn down of your chin tends to relax your neck. Most of the time we have the chin thrust, so we have a bit of a kink in the neck. And here you have a nice little opening of the cervical spine. Maybe placing your head backwards a little bit so it feels more like it's right there at the top of your cervical spine. And if you're lying on the ground, your eyes are focused down the midline of your body and away from the ceiling, and you get that same benefit. And just settle. Feel the ground under you. Feel the chair supporting you. Just being curious about what's holding you up. Now let's move into some breathing, some deliberate breathing. Breathing in and out through the nose and hearing this loud ha sound, again like that ebb and flow sound of the ocean, and here at the base of your throat. So you are breathing in and out through your nose, but you're pretending it's coming in and out through this hole at the base of your throat. So you're making that loud ha sound, hearing that ebb and flow of the ocean inside of you. Hello, Lisa. All right, so settle in, focusing your gaze. Feeling light in your body, and let's begin. Inhale. Now as you hear that loud ha sound in your throat, pull your collarbones wide apart, ribs expand outward to the sides. You're ballooning your belly, but it's the ribs that are really expanding to the sides instead of thrusting forward. Holding here. And exhale. Deflate the belly. Hear the ha sound at the base of your throat. Your collarbones stay wide. Your ribs come together like the sides of an accordion. Let your lower back drop to the ground. And just hold yourself empty here. Feeling how relaxing it is to be in this space between the inhales and exhales. And then at the very end, let your tailbone tuck up slightly towards your navel, feeling that little lift in the chest, and inhale. Collarbones wide, chin still dropped a little bit, eyes are softly focused forward, rib cage expands out like an accordion out to the sides, holding yourself here, feeling the joy of this fullness. And exhale. Chin dropped a little, ribs come together, deflating in the belly, feeling your tailbone drop down, straight down to the ground or into your chair, and then tuck it slightly up towards your navel. If you're sitting on the ground or sitting in a chair, this last little tuck almost makes it feel like you're levitating. Sort of a nice lightness. Inhale. Collarbones wide, chin dropped, eyes focused, looking out the tops of your eyes. You're leaning back a little bit into the back of your chair, into your hips, holding here. And exhale. Deflate the belly, let the rib cage come together, dropping the tailbone straight down, staying empty of breath as you tuck that tailbone just ever so slightly towards your navel. You feel that additional lift in your chest. So notice if after 3 deep breaths, you just feel a little more present, a little more settled, a little more right here. And let's take 3 more. inhale. Remembering to keep the collarbones pulled wide and the chin dropped a little and the rib cage expanding outward to the sides. Exhale. Hear it at the base of your throat. Collarbones stay wide, rib cage comes together, dropping your tailbone and tucking it slightly up. And just stay empty here. For just a moment, just live in this space between the inhales and exhales. And inhale. Exhale. Noticing how much easier it becomes to elongate the breaths as we do more of them. Stay empty. Tuck the tailbone slightly towards the navel. And inhale. And exhale. So here we are, 6 deep breaths and a few sips of water. And just take a moment to be curious and check in on yourself. How are you feeling right now? On that 1 to 10 scale, 1 being really relaxed and 10 being agitated. What feels most present for you right now? What number have you landed at? I put myself between 1 and 2. Such a beautiful, strong habit after all these years to breathe and immediately slip into this place of stillness. And you know, sometimes we talk about the value of stillness as being a break, something that feeds your health and is a way for you to rejuvenate in between the busyness of your life. But there is so much more in this place of stillness. There's a great sense of wisdom in here. All the answers to all the problems and all the solutions you've been looking for really do lie here in this place of stillness where you can connect with them. So we spend a lot of our time chasing answers and working on solutions and really putting great effort into figuring things out. But if you can incorporate this stillness into your busy day, this is the place where you're going to find those productive moments that you've been chasing have really been waiting for you to just arrive. Just let that settle in for a moment. And you know, don't take my word for it. As you practice stillness, as you practice this blissful warrior breathing and settling every day, you're going to find something different about the way you approach those conditions outside of you. The ones that used to agitate you more. They may still agitate you, but not as deeply, and certainly not for as long a period of time. So let's take another one of these beautiful, stabilizing breaths. Inhale. Collarbones wide, just checking to see that your shoulders are down and your chin is dropped and your eyes are softly focused, looking out of the tops of your eyes, and your ribs go very expansive. And then exhale. Hearing the ebb of the ocean at the base of your throat, collarbones wide, rib cage comes together, dropping your tailbone and then tucking it slightly up. Just stay here empty until you feel inspired to the next breath. All right, now let's move into another part of this practice. You know, sometimes your day is busy and you simply only can take the time for this settling, arriving, and breathing and drinking a little bit of water, don't feel badly about it. It's more than enough. And yet, if you'd like to go a little further into some physical stretching, now movement is a kind of medicine, and physical bodies love to be moved. So these yoga asana, the poses of hatha yoga, are designed to incorporate breathing, stretching, moving, and settling. So every yoga asana has the elements of all of these things integrated into it, and it's one of the reasons why yoga feels so wonderful while you're doing it, and then has such amazing cumulative benefits in terms of your health and vitality. So if you can join us today for some yoga asana, let's come on down here to the floor. If you were lying on your back, simply roll over onto your right side and place your palms on the ground, looking at the backs of your hands, and press yourself into this seated position with us. And we're going to start with some forward bending, separate leg stretch. So bringing your legs out here in front of you, placing your palms on your shins or just below your knees, locking your elbows, flexing your heels, flexing the toes towards your face, and rotating your knees inward. Now in these slight movements, can you feel all sorts of things lining up in your hips, in your shoulders? Even your legs begin to feel stronger from this flexing of the heels towards the wall in front of you, toes towards your face. Keep your collarbones wide apart even as your elbows are locked facing inward. Drop your chin, just gazing at the wall in front of you out of the tops of your eyes. Lean a little bit backwards into your hips. Again, just to counterbalance that forward lean that we all tend to default to. Take a breath right here. Keep flexing your heels. Inhale. Exhale. Hear it at the base of your throat. All right, so today we're going to alternate some forward bending and backward bending. So, spreading your legs about 45 degrees to each side. Keep flexing the heels forward and flexing the toes towards your face. And just keep your palms on your shins and lean back a little bit. Now, if you can bend your right knee and place the sole of your right foot on the inside of the left thigh without any pain to the knee, you can go ahead and do that. Remember, as a blissful warrior, you are not pushing, forcing, and certainly not edging yourself into pain. You're easing yourself into stretch. So if you try something and it feels painful, then you just back it down a little bit. Backing down looks like this. Bending the knee and placing the sole on the inside of the thigh. Again, something to try. All of these things are things to try. And your body is different, not only from day to day, but literally from moment to moment. So try to not bring with you thoughts about what you can or can't do from past experiences, and know that from a physiological point of view, things are changing in your body constantly. And if you can allow yourself to be open to that, then you can really embrace the surprise of what your body can do to help you feel like that blissful warrior. It's not about you so much taking care of your body here, as it is your body being a vehicle for you to feel good about yourself. So, inhale, bring your arms overhead, clasp all 10 fingers in a net, and pull the net towards the ceiling, and lift from under your rib cage and lean a little backwards into your hips. And then turn your torso towards the outstretched left leg, lean back a little bit more, and as you exhale, throw the net of fingers over the ball of your foot and tuck your chin to your throat, dropping your elbow tips to the ground beside your calf muscle. Feeling as if you want to tuck your entire chin into that little hollow between your collarbones. And then maybe feeling like you would like to bring your hairline in there. all the way up on your forehead. Just keep leaning down. Relaxing the elbow tips more and more, letting them hug beside your calf muscle, feeling your shoulders slow. Just breathe. And changing out of the pose, disengage the neck forward a little bit, locking your heel, lifting up. It's like you're stacking your own spine. And then pivot your torso towards the center again, and keeping your arms up overhead, let's alternate the legs. So bringing the right leg out 45 degrees, flexing the heel, and then trying and seeing if you can get the sole of the left foot up against the inner right thigh as you lift. Lifting on the inhale, up under the rib cage. Try not to thrust your ribs forward. Just lift them up. Lean back a little bit into your hips. Turn towards the outstretched right leg. Lean back a little more, and as you exhale, throw the net over the ball of the right foot and drop. Chin to throat, forehead to knee. Thinking about tucking the forehead in even more towards that little hollow space between the collarbones as your elbow tips drop, rounding down. Lean a little into your left hip, keep flexing the right heel forward. It's all right for the right knee to be bent. Just keep dropping the forehead and flexing the right heel. Changing out of the pose, pull forward, pulling the net forward a little bit, flexing the right heel and lifting up. Stacking that slinky in your spine, one coil on top of the other, and come back to center. And keep those arms up overhead as you lift. And now bring both legs out again in that V, that 45 degrees angle on both sides, and lift up, lean back. Now separate the hands. Let the palms face each other, leaning back, and as you exhale your breath, come forward and take your first two fingers and hook them between your first two toes. Like little hooks holding your big toes. As you inhale, lift your chest. Flex your heels, even if your knees are bent, right? Your knees might be like this. That's all right. Just keep flexing the heels. And as you exhale, begin to lead your chest forward between your shoulders. Let your elbow tips begin to drop down onto your shins, guiding your chest forward with a nice flat back. So we're not going to do a rounded back pose here. We're going to lead with the breastbone so your back becomes flat and elongated. As you inhale, stacking your spine by lifting your chest a little and pulling your collarbones wide and dropping your chin. And then as you exhale, bend your elbow tips and begin to lead your breastbone towards that wall in front of you, between your shoulders. And eventually you'll be all the way down, but remember, it's not your goal to come all the way down. It's your goal to feel blissful in this movement, to enjoy your body. Inhale, lift your chest, collarbones a little wide. Exhale, lead forward with your breastbone, not with your chin. Let your chin sort of be level, coming down. And then change. So coming up, place your palms on your feet, flexing your heels, and slide your palms until they reach your shins. You're sitting up straight. Bring your legs back together. Flex your heels, flex the toes, collarbones wide, chin dropped, and breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Can you feel your stability here? Flexing your heels forward, flexing the toes towards your face, rotating your knees, locking your elbows, collarbones wide, and chin dropped. Feel how light you heels flexed forward and the toes flexed towards your face. Lean into your hips. Begin to slide your palms over your knees. Tucking your chin, keeping your collarbones wide. Slide your palms over your thighs. You're going to lower yourself to the ground one vertebra at a time. This is a beautiful massage. And then you're all the way down. Rest your arms far from your body, palms facing up. Heels lightly touching, toes flopped apart. Tuck your chin. I'm going to move myself just a little bit, but you guys don't worry about it at all. And rest in the pose called Shavasana. Eyes open, collarbones wide. Nestle your shoulder blades to the mat. And as you inhale, expand your ribs to the sides. Pull your collarbones wide, keeping your chin tucked, hearing at the base of your throat. And exhale. Keeping your ribs coming in, moving into the center. Drop your lower back. And then tuck your tailbone slightly towards your navel. Alright, so we're going to do a beautiful and easy back bending pose. Now this pose is for you if you have no neck issues. So I'm simply going to turn the other way. Again, no worries. You stay exactly where you are. You're just right. Fish pose. So this is a really wonderfully opening pose for the thyroid, really beautiful for the spine, just feels fantastic. Now if you have any neck issues, please take this pose very, very gently. I'm going to guide you through it gently. Now as you inhale, bring your legs together, begin pointing your toes forward, locking down on your thighs and calves. Turn your palms over. Slide your arms close to your body and begin pulling down on your fingers. So you pull your fingers and toes forward. Feel your shoulders drag away. Tuck your chin, locking your thighs. Just feel the strength and stability of your body right here. Now as you exhale, turn your palms over. Relax your legs. Bring your arms under your body, hips on your wrists. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Flex your heels towards the wall in front of you for a moment. Inhale. And as you exhale, flex your toes towards the wall in front of you, squeezing your shoulder blades together under your body. Now inhale, pointing your toes, begin lifting your chest towards the ceiling. Take the weight of your body into your elbow tips, keep your shoulders away from your ears. Now maybe your head comes off the mat and maybe it doesn't. If it does, no balancing on the top of your head. Feel some air space between your head and the mat. As you look behind you, pointing your toes in front of you. Inhale, shoulder blades wide, collarbones wide. Shoulder blades come together actually. The collarbones are wide, pointing your toes. And as you exhale, lift your chest a little more, seeing if it allows you to hang your head back a little more. Feeling this beautiful opening. Breathe here. Inhale, collarbones wide, shoulder blades squeeze together. Feel the weight of your body in your elbow tips, pointing your toes forward. And as you exhale, letting your head hang as if the back of your head is going to touch your spine. Pulling your chin towards that wall behind you and your toes towards the wall in front of you. Feeling this deep stretch. Beautiful, blissful settling into your body. And now as you inhale, start to lay the back of your head on the mat, sliding down. Lying on the back of your head, you're all the way down. Roll your arms out from under you. And Shavasana. Arms are far away, heels lightly touching, toes, knees, hips are flopping out to the sides, tucking your chin. So your gaze is down the middle of your body rather than at the ceiling. And inhale. Collarbones wide, ribs expanding. And exhale. inhale, bring your legs back together. Bend your knees and place the soles of your feet to the ground and inch your heels up close to you. Bend your elbow tips. Press your palms into prayer position in front of your chest. Let your elbows hug your waist and tuck your chin to your throat as you bring your knees to your navel. And as you exhale your breath, keeping your legs squeezed tight, relaxing your feet, pressing your palms together, roll to the right. Make it slow, rolling yourself over. And when you're over on the right side, take these prayer hands and make a little pillow right there under the side of your forehead. And pull your left elbow tip completely over your body to the ground, and then slide, tucking both elbows to your navel, both knees to your navel, tucking your chin all the way in. Relax your shoulders and breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. And now inhale. Turn your palms to the ground, looking at the backs of your hands. Slowly and gently press yourself back up. Coming back into your seated position. Maybe it's on the ground, maybe you're back in a chair. Just arriving here. And noticing in this moment how you feel. And we've been together for about 45 minutes or so. It's not a short amount of time, but in the course of your day, it's not much. And notice if you feel something different about the way you have settled into your body and maybe even into your emotions. So checking in again on that scale of 1 to 10. 1 is very relaxed and 10 is very agitated. And maybe you did have an agitating morning. Maybe it feels far away from you now in this state that you're in. So where have you landed on that scale, 1 to 10? Take a breath. Lean back into your hips a little. Pull the collarbones wide and let your chin drop. Feel your ribs expanding. And exhale. Allow your ribs to come together. Deflate your belly. Dropping your tailbone down and tucking it slightly up. Inhale. Holding here in the fullness. And exhale. Just checking in that your chin is still dropped. Your eyes are still softly gazing forward. Your collarbones are wide. And your belly is deflated. Tucking your tailbone a little towards your navel. And inhale. Collarbones wide. Hands so relaxed. Ribs expanded outward to the sides. And exhale. Ribs come together. Your belly deflates on its own as you hear that loud ha sound at the base of your throat. Drop your tailbone straight down and tuck it slightly up. And here you are, my friends, settled into yourself. It's a really nice place to be, no matter what judgments you may have about yourself, your body, your personality, your worth or your value. Right here and right now in this Blissful Warrior practice, you are home. You are in a place of total acceptance of yourself, an acknowledgement of the life force that is this gift that you have for yourself and that you give to others just by interacting with them. After this practice, everyone you interact with for the rest of the day will feel gratified and benefit from the settling that you have done for yourself. So there's that. And then, of course, there is this practice, which is really just for you, because you deserve it. So we're going to end with a little reading from my book, which is called The Blissful Warrior. A beautiful little quote. This beautiful dance of life, which we have perfectly choreographed, is eternal. You are eternal. We didn't do any of this accidentally, and we don't live it by default. We live on the leading edge of deliberate creation. In this practice today, you have deliberately created your sense of calm. Go out into the day and see how it serves you. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Rhonda Uretsky from Riverflow Yoga. I will be bringing this practice here on this Facebook Live page for everyone during this holiday time. You know, it's a particularly stressful holiday. Holidays can be stressful anyway, but with the raging surge that we have in the conditions outside of us, there is even more stress and worry. And so I offer this practice to help you find your way in the midst of challenging conditions, to be the blissful warrior of your own self. And on days when I'm not here, you can find us on our private page, which is Blissful Warrior Coaching. And if you'd like to join that page, there's much more than this practice there. We will do hot yoga and yoga nidra to help you sleep, and chakra balancing, all of the practices that really can help you to come home to yourself. So if you'd like more information on how to join us on the private page, feel free to private message me or go to our website at riverflow-yoga.com and find out how to join us there. And I hope to see you again soon. Go out and enjoy your life in this day. Bye, friends.